and welcome back, my beautiful froggy army, to another video, and welcome back to another Raven post whatever she wants on this channel. Today I am crocheting and I have decided to make a video about it. We're gonna talk, we're gonna chat, we're gonna yap. I'm gonna talk about crocheting, all that good stuff. We're gonna talk about random topics. I have to re-record the first 15 minutes of this video because I started recording it and realized that my microphone was not recording. But that's okay, it just means that I got a little bit of a head start on what I was already working on, but maybe that's for the better. I have a vacation that is upcoming and I have been struggling to find a really cute tube top in the thrift store. Apparently it's really hard to thrift a cute tube top. So I have decided that I'm going to make my own tube top for my vacation, and I will put up the inspo pic of what I'm kind of going for right here. I found it on Pinterest. We're just going to make like the top solid part and then like a cute little lacy thing on the bottom, and I hope it's going to turn out fine. I'm using mystery yarn. I don't know what this is, and a hook from the Dollar Tree, so yeah, that's my supplies today. I want it to like tie in the back. I don't want it to just be one tube piece, one tubular piece. So I left like maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches where it's not gonna fully like the two edges are not going to fully like wrap around and touch each other, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. I hope that you would like to join me. It's going to be a very chatty video today, very yapalicious. So if you're into that, if you want to put this on while you're doing something else, cleaning, organizing, working on some homework, feel free to do that. I would appreciate it. Literally, I just wanted to work on this project so badly, and I was like, wait, but I also need to make a video. So I was like, why not combine the two, and we can chat, we can yap. And I asked you guys over on Instagram also for some topics or questions, so I'll answer some of those as well. Like I said, this is for my upcoming vacation, and this is the first time that Quack and I have ever gone like on a vacation together just to go on a vacation. Like, we've gone to California and Georgia and what was the other place? Washington together, but it was either to visit family or to like do work stuff for me. Like, I got invited to something, or like, you know, went to VidCon or whatever, and they're always really quick. It's just like a weekend, you know, because we're just fitting it in with our usual life. It's just like a quick little boop, okay, now we're back home. So this is the first time that we are taking like a longer like more than a week vacation, and it's out of the country, which is also my first time doing that, and it's just to go see another country and just to go be on vacation, and it's like so amazing, and I'm so glad that I can do this. And it's also like wild to think about, not only because it's my first time doing it and I'm still not, you know, used to this. I just have to do it for the first time and then get it over with and just be like, okay, I've done this before, you know, I feel more confident. I'm a little nervous because I'm like, oh, I've never done all this stuff before. I've never taken a flight that's longer than 5 hours, you know, so it's gonna be a bit of a learning curve, but it should be fine. But it's also wild to think about, and what I was trying to explain when I first recorded this video is that sometimes I do this thing where I think about stuff that I'm currently doing right now from the lens of my like 14 or 15-year-old self, you know? I put myself in 15-year-old Raven's shoes, in her brain, and I imagine that I can see the future and see future 25-year-old Raven doing X, Y, and Z, you know, going on this trip. And I'm like, 15-year-old Raven would just be like, what? You're what? You're going on a vacation this long, international? You're doing all of this? What? Like, she would be so impressed. She would be so amazed. She would be like, what? I never thought that we would do that. You know, that's kind of like the vibe that I usually feel whenever I kind of do that, like travel back in time to 15-year-old Raven's brain. The general vibe is that I never thought I would do these things. Like, I just never foresaw it in my future, even though it is kind of like a normal thing, I guess, for people to fly internationally and take vacations. I guess, I don't know, but it's not really like a big deal, you know? Like, to me right now it's a big deal to 25-year-old Raven because it's the first time that I'm ever doing it, so I'm like, oh, okay, like this is a new thing for me. But it's also a big deal to 25-year-old Raven and 15-year-old Raven, because I guess 15-year-old Raven was like, oh, I never thought I would do that. Does that make sense? I don't know. I've had such a hard time explaining this topic and concept. And there's other things that I do it for too, like put myself back in my 15-year-old brain and imagine 15-year-old Raven knowing that I'm doing this right now. Like, even something as simple as, oh, you know, like I have my license and I drive around whenever I want and I just like go drive to stores. It's literally not even a big deal, you know? People do it all the time, but here I am being like, wow, this is an amazing concept. And I don't know if it's like sad that I'm like amazed by that as my 15-year-old self, or if that says something about like my upbringing or my mentality. I don't know. Like I don't know what my feelings are on it. It's just kind of like funny and also a little bit of sad or something. I don't really know. I don't know how to describe it. It just happens and I just do it sometimes. Like I'll tell like Quack sometimes when we're doing whatever thing, like, oh, we're on the way to go to our weekly hangout with friends and like casual acquaintances. And I tell him like, oh, you know, 15-year-old Raven would never even think that I would have like a weekly hangout or casual acquaintances. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, you don't understand how big of a deal me doing this is to 15-year-old Raven. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just a thing that happens, I guess. But okay, I'm on the second row right now, and let's see if this will focus. I'm trying to do back loops only with these double crochets so that it'll be, I think it makes it a little more stretchy, maybe. I don't know. Or a little more not super thick. And this is already feeling kind of thick, so I'm glad it's only going to be the top part, and hopefully like the lacy underside of it will be kind of a contrast. But anyways, that's so much of me yapping about something that doesn't even make sense. How are you? I hope you're doing well today. I'm glad to have you clicking on this video and watching it, and thank you for keeping me company. I hope I'm keeping you company. But while we're on the topic of 15-year-old Raven, Charlie over on Instagram has asked me to talk about what I was like as a kid, grades I got, games I played, all that stuff. So once again, another thing that I don't know if this is normal or not is that I don't have a lot of memories as like a kid. Like I have some elementary school memories, but they're very scattered and very random. But in general, as a kid up until high school, I was the teacher's pet, goody two-shoes, good grades child. And I don't know if that's surprising or not. It's probably not surprising, but I was definitely filled with eldest child aura, and I was the type of person who, when I got my first C on my report card in elementary school, I cried because I felt like I was failing and like totally flunking school, and I just got one C. That was it. I don't even remember what it was in, but I remember crying. I remember crying. I took ballet very, very young. I can't remember what grade. Maybe like first grade kind of area, and then I went back to it again in third grade. And I did like the little performance, you know, at the end of the year, but that was pretty much it. So I did ballet twice at some point. I know for sure one was in third grade, I think. Again, as a goody two-shoes, I would usually get good grades because I would actually pay attention in school because, you know, I don't know, respected the teachers and I didn't really care about anything else. Like I wanted to learn. I would always complete my work very fast. I remember a lot in elementary school. I can't remember which grade, maybe fifth grade. I would finish like whatever assignment our teacher would give us to work on during class before anybody else. And then sometimes I would go up to like to the little bookshelf and just grab a book and read. And sometimes my teacher would actually have me help her grade other students' assignments. So yeah, teacher's pet, yeah. But a lot of the times I don't think the teachers were like, oh, like I love little Raven, she's my little pet, you know. I don't think it was like that. It was more like, okay, Raven, like you finish your schoolwork before everybody else. I need to give you something to do because otherwise you're gonna bother me and ask me like, what do I do? What do I do? Because if I didn't have a task given to me and I was just chilling, I couldn't handle that. I couldn't. I would also always finish my homework as soon as I got home and like be stressed if my homework wasn't done or something like that. So yeah, I very much valued school a lot, and I'm glad that I did in a way. Like, it just made it easier, you know? Like, I didn't have to worry about like doing makeup work or trying to fix my grades or anything like that. Like, I didn't have that stress because I was already actively stressing 24/7 about I need to do my schoolwork. I need to finish my homework as soon as I get home from school. As for games I played, I think one of the earliest games that I played that I really remember like being into was Wizard 101. Like, we're talking about video games and stuff. I was very into Wizard 101 and I didn't understand what was happening, but I really, really enjoyed it. and it was actually a card game, which is so funny because I'm very into Magic the Gathering right now, which is a card game, and I always told myself, like, I'm not into card games, you know, like, whatever, those are boring, blah blah blah, but I never connected the fact that I used to play Wizard 101, and it's just funny. It's just funny. As I got into high school, I kind of drifted away a little bit from the goody two shoes mentality. Not like I was, you know, a rebellious kid or anything like that. Like the most rebellious thing I wanted to do was shave the sides of my head, and it was, you know, it was just hair. It was fine, whatever. And like I kind of was experimenting more with my style and like wearing like maybe more androgynous kind of outfits, androgynous clothes, which didn't really stick if you can tell. But definitely, as with most kids, I would say high school was definitely more about finding like my interests and stuff like that. So I got very into like Tumblr and like fandoms. I was a super Hulock kid. Yep, I was a super Hulock high schooler for sure. But I think in general, I was a fairly good-natured and good-tempered kid. I had a bunch of baby siblings all the time, so I was also definitely kind of like, you know, the second mom type of thing. I remember carrying babies on my hips and changing diapers and stuff like that. Not when I was like a small child, but you know, when I was old enough to do that. Here's a crochet progress check. We've got 2 rows down and we are on that 3rd row. If it'll focus, it just wants to focus on my face. But yeah, we are on the 3rd row, back loops only. I'm gonna work on this for just a minute on my own, just so I can get a little further along, because if I just yap this entire time while crocheting and don't make any progress, I will never finish this. Okay, we're back. I moved you to a different spot. That way we're just not in one singular area this whole video. This is where I just worked up, I forgot what row we left off on, but I worked up a few more rows, so we're gonna keep going. I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th row right now. And the next super quick question I'm gonna answer is opinion on grapes. Do you like them? What do you like about them? I need to know. And I wanted to answer this one because I actually just had grapes today with my lunch, so it was very funny that question was asked. Yes, I like grapes. I love grapes. I love the crunchiness of them. I feel like there's not a lot of fruits that give you that crunch, so I very much like the crunch of a grape. I like both red grapes and green grapes. You know, both are a vibe. I like both very much, so yes, a grape lover over here for sure. And the next topic, instead of talking about the past and Baby Raven and all that stuff, Chloe asked me to talk about accepting that we're getting older, not the youngins of the family anymore. Let's do a complete 180 and talk about that. Yeah, sure, because if you have been in my streams, especially in the last couple of months when I've talked about my birthday coming up, because I just turned 25 in August, I have mentioned, you know, just panicking a little bit at the thought of turning 25, mid-20s, quarter-life crisis, all that kind of stuff. And I know to somebody who's 30 or 40 or 50 and beyond, it's probably seems silly for me to talk about it in this way, because like, to somebody who's older than me, you know, I'm always gonna be younger, and of course I am still young, and everyone is always gonna be young at heart and all that good stuff, but we live in a society that does not view aging as a good thing. So it's really hard to kind of like not let that control my mind, you know what I mean? Like I literally get bombarded with TikToks of like anti-aging stuff, you know, how to make your skin look younger, how to blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff, and it's like I try not to get consumed by that as best I can. The way I've been trying to see it lately honestly kind of ties into the whole like putting myself in 15-year-old Raven's mentality thing that I was talking about earlier. Like getting older and not being like, you know, the young person in the family. Well, I haven't been the young person in the family for a long time, but not being as young as we were is definitely never a bad thing. Like to me, aging and getting older just means new life experiences, doing new things, changing, hopefully for the better, you know, improving, being a better person, like putting myself in that 15-year-old mindset sometimes. I'm glad that I'm not back there. I wouldn't want to be 15 with a 15-year-old mindset. Not saying that being 15 is a bad thing. Everybody is going to be 15 at some point in their life, but I don't see it as I wish I could go back to being a young person, you know? I had my time being 15. I spent a whole year doing it, and that's it. And the time has passed, and life goes on and my age goes up, and with it I get new experiences and hopefully just improve myself, get better mindsets, change as a person, and that's just life, and it's something that should be good and celebrated. But like I mentioned, we live in a society. Society just really hammers into you that you need to be young and beautiful always, otherwise you are not valued as a woman. So yeah, I am, at least in my personal life, trying to combat that and not seeing getting older and time passing as a bad thing, and more so get excited for it, because here I am now, I'm 25 and I'm going on a fun trip, you know, like this was not happening when I was young, so, or younger, whatever, so it's a good thing, it's fine. And that's just how I'm seeing it now, or at least trying to. I still think it's okay to, you know, start getting older and panic about it a little bit, or maybe see it in a negative way, you know, before you can kind of overcome it or something, because again, society has trained us to do that. So if you are also a person who is getting older and you're like, ah, this is scary, like, it's fine, like, it's totally normal. I feel you, okay? I'm also there, but we're gonna work through it. We'll be fine, you know, we're gonna have some great life experiences, and that's part of aging and getting older, so is a good thing. I'm gonna do the reverse of society, and I'm gonna brainwash us all to getting really excited for getting older and aging, which we should be. This is me brainwashing you, okay? Tired Maya asked me to talk about finding my personal style. It's so iconic to you and you always know what to add. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Personal style is definitely something that I feel like many people, and also me, kind of struggle with a little bit, you know, finding it, refining it. It's kind of a challenge sometimes. So the fact that people see that I have a distinct style is really exciting and makes me really happy, because I know this is gonna sound dumb, but I feel like I don't have one. I guess I kind of do, especially in videos. I try to always have like a kind of style going on. There's definitely days where I put in more effort than others. I mean, of course, for everyone there is, but for me personally, I think it's kind of like a niche way that I got into finding my personal style and being comfortable with it, because it was having a YouTube channel. Like, literally, I started making YouTube videos, and then once I did my face reveal, I was like, I want to have a style and clothes that kind of match the aesthetic of my channel. And I had created this incredible community that was so accepting and was just so open to anything that I was doing, that I felt totally comfortable to wear like literally whatever, and people liked it and people complimented, you know, like my Hello Kitty shirts. So I was like, oh, you know, that just made me feel even more comfortable. So I kind of had, and still have, this space, this platform, this area where I can just totally be free with my style and self-expression. So kind of finding that personal style, again, it's kind of niche, because I don't think that many people are gonna make a YouTube channel and then feel the same way that I feel, you know, but maybe finding either an activity or a group or a setting or a time where you feel that comfort and you feel fine, like safe wearing whatever you want, then that can really help refine your style, because when you feel that freedom to wear whatever you want and experiment, it really does foster creativity and helps you refine that style in the moment. But yeah, for me, it was literally thanks to you guys. Like, I have you to thank, because you have always made me feel so chill and safe and comfortable, and, you know, even make me feel good by complimenting me on like the stuff that I wear. And my personal style, definitely, at least what I wear for YouTube and stuff like that, is definitely rooted in serotonin, for sure. It's like, okay, does looking at this piece of clothing or this accessory make me feel happy? Yes, okay, let's wear it, you know? Also, progress check. Just finished that row that we were just working on, so now I'm on to, I think this is the 6th row. And maybe that's why I feel like my style is not super defined, because it is based on serotonin and like what makes me happy, and sometimes I can pick two pieces of clothing that don't really like go together or wouldn't really make sense together in like a defined wardrobe, but it makes sense for me because that's what makes me happy, you know what I mean? Finding my style is still an ever evolving journey, as it is with most people, but I wish you all luck if you are also in that process. And I really want to experiment with like more styles too, because I don't usually wear like what I wear for videos out that much. At least, you know, maybe I'll wear like one piece, like dressed down a lot, but usually I don't have that same confidence going out as I do sitting in front of a camera, unfortunately. But I definitely think it's fine to have like multiple styles as well. Like, I've always been a fan of like Whimsigoth and like, not Coastal Grandma, but like, what's the really colorful coastal one? I don't know if there's a name for it, but something like that. I definitely want to find more aesthetics and styles to also kind of wear and add to my repertoire, my wardrobe, all that kind of good stuff. So I don't know why this yarn right now is getting really squeaky. I don't know if you can hear it, but if you can, I am sorry. I've also gotten a few questions and comments about my eyebrows because I posted a picture on Instagram super zoomed into my eyebrow, including like what I use, my routine, kind of stuff like that. So I use whatever cheapy drugstore brow pencil. This is a Rimmel brow pencil. This is it anything specific? I don't really know. As you can see, I've used the heck out of this thing. Keep sharpening it. Oh, I think it's the Born or Brow This Way pencil. The writing is like scrubbed off at this point because I have used it that much. But yeah, I literally get these super cheap brow pencils from the drugstore, and sometimes I'm not really good at shade matching them, but sometimes I am. So thankfully I have been blessed with thick eyebrows my whole life, and actually, more childhood Raven lore, I had pretty thick brows, and I didn't have like a unibrow, but I did have like kind of a lot of hairs in the middle that sometimes, you know, people would comment about it. So I don't know if you would still call them thick now. I feel like I have eyebrow blindness, but I don't know. But I pretty much just pluck them. I don't like try to do too much to them, especially lately. I used to very much pluck them like in high school, and I hopefully didn't do too much damage to them, but I just pluck, and I don't really know if I do it well, but I try my best. I just try to keep the general shape, and I literally just fill it in with the pencil on areas that are like a little patchy or whatever. But besides the plucking, I groom them by just brushing them up with the spoolie and then like snipping them, like just trim them once in a while. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really know how to describe what I do without doing like a full-blown eyebrow tutorial, but I don't really do that much. I just use the cheap pencils. That's it. I feel like the camera definitely softens it and like makes them look really good, because like IRL, I don't know if they look that good. You know what? Actually, this camera will be able to tell you better because this one is actually high quality. That's my eyebrow. They're definitely not twins, for sure. I'm really bad at making them both look even. Same with eyeliner. That's always my struggle. I can never make two things look identical on either side. So that's always gonna be my struggle. But yeah, that's just me plucking and trimming and this cheap CVS Rimmel Brow This Way pencil. Okay, I worked on this a bit more, so here's a progress check. We are on row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just keep working on it. But the next topic that I want to talk about comes from Sophia, asking about my favorite fandoms slash franchises, currently or from childhood. I feel like this is mostly going to be from high school era Tumblr era Raven, because right now I'm truly not into that many fandoms, at least not nearly as deep as I used to be. I would say the only fandom that I'm like currently actively in is the fandom PHAN dumb. I do very much love Dan and Phil, and I've been watching them since, oh my god, like I think I was like 13 or 14, so it's been over 10 years of watching them, which is crazy. And if you're into them as well, then you already know about the whole gaming channel resurgence, all that kind of stuff. There's the tour, there's a lot of exciting things going on right now, so I do get a lot of Dan and Phil stuff on Twitter, and I don't really participate or like contribute, but I read a lot of it, so I get Dan and Phil tweets. That's pretty much it for my fandom stuff right now. But oh boy, I've got so many that I was really into in the past. I already mentioned Super Hulock. I was a Super Hulock person, mainly the lock part of it. Definitely the tier list was Sherlock, Supernatural, and then Doctor Who. I was obsessed with Sherlock, like obsessed. I really liked Supernatural too, but after about I think season 5 I stopped watching. I was really not as deep into it as Sherlock. I was literally in the trenches in the Sherlock fandom. I really thought it was the greatest piece of media ever created, and it's not. It's not. Especially the final season. Like, I love to pretend that it doesn't even exist. I really do. I think a good scale for knowing if I'm really into a fandom is, do I start watching interviews with like the voice actors or actors? If I start doing that, oh, I'm in deep. I'm in deep. So I was absolutely watching Benedict Cumberbatch interviews. Absolutely I was. I was reblogging GIFs on Tumblr with essays underneath of them analyzing 3 frames out of the show, you know, like it was bad. It was bad. I still look at it fondly, and I made Quack watch Sherlock with me because I remembered it as like, oh, a really good show that I was really into, and then when I rewatched it again like a few years ago, I was like, oh. It's a good show, but it's not all that I thought it was in my head when I was 14 on Tumblr. As for Supernatural, that was more of like a standard, you know, I'm in the fandom, I reblog some posts on Tumblr, stuff like that. Like, I was obsessed with Chevy and Paula's, of course. I was a Dean girl, okay, and I still am. Jensen Ackles is a beautiful man, and Quack agrees with me. He also agrees with me. I loved Castiel, and I was obsessed with Misha Collins. I think I was not present on Tumblr when the Misha apocalypse happened, but I definitely knew of it very well, very well. Another fandom that I was also very much in, I guess, was like the Overwatch fandom. I played it a lot. That's basically the reason why Quack and I met, I guess. If you don't know how we met, by the way, I made like an Animal Crossing skit version telling the story, so you should check that out. But we pretty much met because we both played Overwatch, so I was very much into Overwatch for a while. When we first started dating for the first couple of years, like, we would play Overwatch consistently on the regular, and then I think when they switched it to like 5v5 slash when they made Overwatch 2, we were like, yeah, no. And then the company was also being kind of weird and shady, and like a lot of weird things were happening within the company, and I was like, seems like a good time to dip. But definitely in those first couple of years where Quack and I were playing and first, you know, getting to know each other and talking and stuff like that, Overwatch was a big part of our lives. So I know they had comics. I didn't get into the comics, but I loved watching like the cinematic, like, things. I forget what they would make, like the shorts that they would make for the game. I also realized when discussing Super Wholock, I forgot to talk about Doctor Who. So that one was a much like short, strong spurt type of thing, you know? I watched the 9th and 10th Doctor, which is, I forget his name, Christopher something, and David Tennant. I watched those 2 seasons, and I definitely liked David Tennant a lot. I kind of had like a David Tennant era where I really liked him and enjoyed him and would watch interviews and stuff, but I really enjoyed the icons of Doctor Who, like the Daleks, the TARDIS, the screwdriver, all that kind of stuff. Like, I was very into like the symbols and stuff, and I don't remember which one I watched first, either that one or Sherlock, but it might have been the first British show I ever watched, and I was probably like, whoa, first British show, crazy. But I definitely fell off after the David Tennant season, and I don't even remember if I finished it, so it was definitely shorter lived than the other 2 fandoms. But going back to animated, another fandom that I was very into was Bob's Burgers, and I still really love Bob's Burgers. There's a lot of seasons I need to catch up on, but I really still like Bob's Burgers as a comfort show, just to throw it on in the background, you know, stuff like that. But moving on, a lot of you asked for me to talk about gardening and how that's going. Basically, everything is dying. I'm kind of like in a lull right now with gardening. I really wanted to plant some more stuff, like some new plants this month, but I knew that I was going to be going out of town for an extended period of time, so I was like, let me just wait until I get back. So I think I'll really get back into gardening a lot more, like the same capacity that I was once I get back, because yeah, I just don't want to plant things and then go on a vacation immediately and then they just die before I can even like start to begin letting them grow, you know? The only things that I have right now that are doing well is like that one house plant thing. So that is just growing like crazy and it's just chilling there, so whatever. And then I have this one singular Everglades tomato plant that is thriving on the neglect that I'm giving it right now. I don't know how. I've seen people say they think they do better on neglect, and I think that's actually true because I haven't been doing anything and it's still fine, and it's got a few teeny tiny baby tomatoes on it right now, so that's been doing okay. I think I am just waiting for it to get cooler, maybe start some of the cooler crops. I really want to do some lettuce, like some true lettuce. I did some arugula, but I want to do like lettuce, you know? Here's how we're looking, by the way. Looking pretty decent, pretty decent. And of course, a lot of you asked about the cats as well, so I'll tell you a little bit about them. We've actually had some activity going on lately because I did buy the like litter robot brand automatic litter box. So we've only had it for about 5 days, and Pepper has actually used a litter robot before. His previous owner that we got him from actually had a litter robot, so I was confident that he was going to be fine with it, and he was. Literally like 20 minutes after we set it up, he went and peed in it. So great Pepper. Pepper is just like no thoughts in his head, absolutely no thoughts. He's like, new litter box, let's go. But Peach is a little more cautious, she's a little more timid, especially with new things, new people. So we set it up and she was a little suspicious of it, and we made the mistake of letting it clean, like do a cycle, and she got really scared of it and the movement and everything, and we messed up. You're not supposed to do that, but we did it by accident. So she was really scared of it, and she's been scared of it for days. Like, even if she's in the room with it, she is kind of like on edge a little bit. So I was like, okay, let's try to get Peach used to it. Like, let's try some tricks to kind of get her more calm and whatever when she's around it. So first of all, we started feeding them in the same room as the litter robot. So that has also been helping, you know, like just get Peach used to positive association being in the room as the robot, you know. And then I would like spend some time with her right in front of it. Like, I would pick her up and bring her right like in front of the litter robot, and I would pet her and talk to her and play with her right in front of it, and just try to again associate positive things with this, like, hey, we're just chilling in front of this litter box robot, it's fine, you're good, Peachy. So I was doing that a lot, and I would lift her up to it, let her sniff it while being like safe, like with me holding her and stuff. And slowly, very slowly, like day by day, she would get a little more confident and a little more confident. And one time she like put her 2 paws up on the edge of it, and I was like, yes, progress. And then like the next day she put 3 paws inside of the little robot, and I was like, oh my god, yes, we're getting so close. And then finally, yesterday, the 3rd time I took her into the room where I was like, okay, let's spend some time in here and I'll hold you up to it. I put her like on top of my lap when I was sitting in front of it, and she fully went inside except for one leg, and she was like digging a little bit, and I was like, oh, is this it? Is she gonna use it? And she lost interest and kind of turned around. But then I was like, okay, like she was so close, let me just try picking her up and putting her back on my lap and back in front of the litter robot. And I kind of like maybe put her paws on like the edge of it, and she was like, oh yeah, I forgot I was doing that, and she went fully inside and used it, and I was like, oh my god, yes, we did it. So now we think she's used it again, because like you have an app that you install with the litter robot, and it has like a sensor, and it can tell the difference between the 2 cats, and Peach weighs more than Pepper, so we can tell. She's used it one more time again, so finally she is warming up to using it. And we've had like one of their old litter boxes right next to it, that way, you know, she had an option to go even if she was terrified of the robot. So I think we'll leave the old litter box for a little while longer, like maybe a few more days, and then take it away and see how she does. I also like that we can more reliably like monitor their bathroom stuff, especially because Pepper has had some urinary issues in the past, and it's nice to be able to have like set data on like the frequency that he's going to the bathroom and stuff like that, which he's been fine. He got prescribed like urinary like wet food that we give him, so he's all good now that he's on that prescribed wet food, prescribed medicated food, and he loves it. So he's been fine, but you know, just in case, like, we really want to be like proactive and preventative with any of that stuff happening. So just being able to have access to that PP data for Pepper is also really good. Okay, I just finished row 11 and I feel like I kind of wanted to end right here. So maybe like, how much would you say that is? 3-4 more rows, I think, and that'll be good for kind of like the chest bust area that I wanted to do. So we're getting to the finish line. We're getting to the finish line. All right, I worked on this a little bit more. So here's where we're at. I think I've got the full like bust area down, and then I'm gonna start on the little lacy part. So I'm literally starting the first row of that. This is way too difficult to do while I'm talking because I'm doing 7 chains and then skipping 5 stitches, so I need to count every single stitch for this, and I just tried to do it and I can't do it while talking. I need to count in my head, so I think I am going to go ahead and end the video here. My hands are also getting kind of crampy and I think I just need to give them a break because I've been doing this for a few hours straight now. Don't worry though, I am gonna show you the completed piece in this video. I'm gonna put a picture of it right here. Once I finish, I'll post a picture of what it looks like so you can see it, so I don't just leave you hanging and all that stuff. But yeah, this was so fun to do. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you do, and if you want more crochet and yap sessions, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to do like a couple of these a year or something. It'd be so much fun. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for keeping me company and letting me just ramble about so much stuff today. I hope you learned some new information about me or just had a nice time watching this video. So yeah, thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.